Welcome to Nerd Stalker, episode 11. I'm Adolfo Ferranda. We attend the Mashable party and speak with community manager of WeAre.us, Stephen Doogan.
My name's Stephen Doogan. I'm the head of community management of WeAre.us, the social support networks for people like you. We basically focus on providing social support networks for health communities and lifestyle communities as well. We're very, very focused and we're very, very relevant to our users. We're not generalists in the slightest. We're focusing on those niche communities that don't have an established support system in place. So basically, I'll just reel off a couple of sites that we've got. We've got wearecrohns.org, designated to the Crohn's and colitis community. We also have some of the larger subsets like diabetes, wearediabetic.org. So basically what we focus on is providing all of the features of a larger generalist social network like Facebook and MySpace, but we add a little bit more. We've got full user plane video instant messaging, audio instant messaging, but the real ethos of the company is connecting patients in a way that they've never been able to interact with each other before. So instead of being general and being a health group on Facebook or MySpace, we basically have created a very warm, tight-knit community with the common ground of your health condition or your lifestyle choice. And so we connect people with each other, people that would like to offer support and people who are in need of that support. And we really put them together via our sort of unique profile matching system. Basically, we got in contact with the NIH, the National Health Institute, and we decided, you know, they're spending a lot of money acquiring people for clinical trials. They're also not acquiring users and reaching out into the specific places. They're having to spend lots of money being in newspapers, different press releases elsewhere, the internet, TV, local community releases in the press. So we basically created a community around a health condition, and then we basically suck all of the information out of the clinicaltrials.gov database, and we basically pair them up with the profile of the person to their demographic, age, sex, location, and whether they're eligible or not. Our system determines that, and we introduce them to that fact.
That's amazing.
It's very, very cool. I'd just like to talk about We Are HD, which is dedicated to Huntington's disease. Now, there's only 40,000 patients in the US that suffer from it, and they are desperate for a cure, and naturally so. And so we're basically engaging. We have 2% of the Huntington's disease population on our site. Wow. And they're now hooking up with clinical trials in their area, and in a way which they wouldn't ordinarily be exposed to. So it's really special and actually really starting to impact change and getting the right people in front of those clinical trial opportunities.
I was amazed at the whole community aspect as well as the informational aspect. Like you said, I'm a 21-year-old guy with like a certain, condition. I upload my photos, my videos, and I'm meeting other people like me, and we're interacting?
Yes, that's absolutely right. I mean, we're connecting users, or patients, over the common ground, which is their condition. So what we're finding is that people are sort of creating this whole new social life, which ordinarily they would have never been able to create. But also because we're targeting a lot of niche medical conditions, they're dotted around the world, dotted around the country, and usually our users don't know anyone who suffers from the same condition. So we just enable that interaction, and there's been some remarkable results. And one thing I do notice is that we have massive user engagement on some of our most popular sites. We got people spending 6 hours a month on our site, which is huge. Average logins per month are about 25 average logins per month, which is absolutely huge for a social network. And that's what focus and relevancy brings. And it's just, I talk about it just so passionately because I genuinely do believe in it. And I'm, as a community manager, and being a community-oriented site, everything is about the users. They are number one, and interacting with them, it's really funny. I spend hours on the phone with them. I chat on video IM with them. And I would ordinarily think it's kind of strange, interacting over this space, because it's kind of ordinarily what I don't do. But I've just relinquished that. I love it. I interact with them on a daily basis, and some of our users are here tonight. They're Bay Area residents. We meet up for beers. We go and we chat. And it's really cool. It's a nice, really organic interaction between us and also between themselves. So it's really cool.
So what's the go-forward strategy? Any enhancements or roadmap?
Funnily enough, actually today we've rolled out a whole new version 2.0 of the site. We've actually just we've won the vencorps.com Technorati Idea Wars Showdown. which is a collection of startups in competition with each other and voted on by a community of about 500 investors, startup entrepreneurs themselves. So we just won that. We've had a little bit of seed funding for that. We're using that money to expand our development team. We've just released version 2.0, which is evidence that our development team's working on overdrive, basically. We're starting to integrate things such as things we got in the pipeline, basically bringing doctors on board, but in the capacity that patients and users want to interact with them. We're not forcing any information on them, we're just giving them an extra resource to get more information so they're more well informed when they go to their doctor's appointments, for example.
So what's your background? How'd you get into this?
My background, actually, I majored in Japanese and Asia Pacific studies. Funnily enough, I met Robert, who's Chief Marketing Officer, and I met Chris, who's the Head of Development in Tokyo when I was 9 years old. We all lived there and went to school out there. My background with this is actually my father, who worked in the pharmaceutical industry for about 30 years. And he basically found this model of physicians and basically pharmaceutical companies, big pharma, dictating down to patients as not very wholesome and not very reflective of what patients really wanted. As such, with no tech savvy, he brought me on board, brought Robert and Chris, who I knew, on board, and co-founded We.Are.Us, which is basically, the notion is empowering patients to have all of the knowledge possible to really benefit their lifestyle and live with their condition in a positive manner, as opposed to feel that it's all about clinical drugs taking, and it's more about trying to live with your condition, dealing with it, getting on with it, and interacting with those who completely understand what you're going through. So kind of reversing the healthcare equation.
So how can our viewers get a hold of you or someone from your company?
Anyone that wants to get in contact, just come straight to the We.Are.Us homepage. You can see all the different uniquely branded home web pages, basically health networks. We got. If you have Crohn's, go to wearecrohns.org. But just come to the homepage. It's the best way of getting there. Email me at Stephen@weare.us. That's Stephen with a PH. But just info@weare.us. You can find anything about us, and we'd love to see you on board.
Amazing. This sounds really great. Thanks so much for your time.
No,
Appreciate meeting
Thank you. Nice. Thank you.
And cars go by.